Apple looked perfect from the outside. Beautiful products, massive launches, loyal customers waiting in lines for hours just to buy the newest device. The company became one of the most powerful brands on earth. But behind the glass buildings, polished presentations, and billion-dollar success, there was another side to Apple that most people never saw. A side built on pressure, secrecy, obsession, and impossible expectations. At first, Apple felt different from every other tech company. It wasn't just selling computers or phones. It was selling identity. People didn't buy Apple products because they needed them. They bought them because Apple made technology feel emotional, clean, premium, revolutionary, and at the center of all of it stood Steve Jobs. To the public, he looked like a visionary genius. Inside Apple, the reality was far more intense. Former employees described the company as brilliant, but exhausting. Deadlines were extreme. Product secrecy became almost obsessive. Entire teams worked on projects without fully understanding what other departments were building. Some workers reportedly spent years developing components for products they never even saw until launch day. And Steve Jobs demanded perfection from everyone around him. If something looked wrong, even slightly wrong, it wasn't acceptable. Meetings could instantly become brutal. Ideas were either amazing or terrible. Employees often worked under enormous psychological pressure trying to meet expectations that constantly became higher. But strangely, many people inside Apple accepted it, because the results kept changing the world. The iPod transformed music. The iPhone transformed communication. The iPad changed mobile computing forever. And with every success, Apple's internal culture became even more secretive. Leaks became the enemy. Employees reportedly used badge-locked doors, hidden prototypes, and isolated workspaces designed to prevent information from escaping the company. In some cases, teams only knew small pieces of a project to reduce the risk of leaks before launch events. Because for Apple, surprise was part of the product. But as the company became bigger, critics started asking difficult questions. Was Apple still innovating, or simply protecting its empire? Some former employees claimed the pressure inside Apple became overwhelming. Others argue the company's obsession with control limited creativity. And outside the company, critics accused Apple of creating a closed ecosystem designed to keep customers permanently locked into its products and services. But perhaps the biggest shift happened after Steve Jobs passed away. Many people believed Apple would slowly lose its magic. Instead, the company became even larger. Under Tim Cook, Apple transformed into a financial powerhouse unlike anything the tech world had ever seen. Profits exploded. Services expanded. The ecosystem became stronger than ever. But some longtime fans say something changed. The company once driven by revolutionary risk-taking now felt more cautious, more corporate, more focused on protecting dominance than reinventing the future. And maybe that's the real dark side of Apple's success. Because once a company becomes powerful enough to shape global culture, maintaining control becomes just as important as innovation itself. Today, billions of people depend on Apple products every single day. And that level of influence raises an uncomfortable question. When one company becomes deeply connected to modern life, how much power is too much?